Shalom, peace, shalom, brother Bruce. What up, Issa? Shalom alaikum, Marquis. All right, cool. So let me get on this real quick, right? Because I've been fumbling with this for 15 minutes. I tried to go live in my Walls of Jericho group, but it did like this. I couldn't see nothing. They didn't add some new features or whatever. So I'm going to jump straight off into this. What up, Ozzy? Peace, Israel. So I had said, what up, my brother Dave and my neighbor? All right, so look, right? I had seen a post earlier, right? Two posts. I saw one in the group, and I saw another post by Sister Margot Israel, right? And in her post, she was asking brothers how they felt about a sister making more money than them, or I guess they wives, basically. They wives making more money than them. Peace, Jonathan. What up, Hebrew? And so, you know, that's a quite commonly asked question. So I said, you know what? I made a post earlier about, I was giving it just brotherly advice to some brothers. If you plan on, you ready to go that, what's up, brother Dave? If you plan on going that route to where you're ready to build a family and take you a woman and all that, right? That one of my biggest advice I can give is to the brothers was to hire your own stuff. Like meaning have your own place to stay, residence. I mean, everybody not fortunate enough to be able to own a house. So I'm being realistic with that. You know what I'm saying? What up, Eleazar? Peace, Eleazar. And you know, so I understand it. And I'm coming from somebody who's been through a lot. You know, like I said, I've been homeless basically, but the Most High had me in a spot where he had people around me to where I never had to sleep under a bridge or nothing like that. So I thank the Lord for that. You know what I'm saying? But everybody don't have that. So I understand that. So this ain't talking about that. Everything just don't work out the way it's supposed to work out. And that don't mean that I want y'all to say, I want to say this to y'all too first before I do this, because I'm trying not to be no longer than 30 minutes. You know, I ain't write down no big long lesson. It's just something I'm just going to go straight off the brain with, right? I got a couple precepts. But I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, that when you fall in love, you don't fall in love. You know, when you fall in love with somebody, you know, brothers and sisters, you may not be exactly where you want to be financially and all those type of things. So I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is, if it's possible, you most definitely as a man, as a brother, my advice would be to you to make sure you get a place to stay, at least, to put that woman in. And I'm going to show you why, even according to the scriptures. And you could just take it with everyday life, why I say that. Like I said, everybody ain't going to own land and a house and all that. But you could be renting an apartment, whatever. But it's best as a man to always have that. Now, look, by some chance, under some circumstance, the lease not in your name, the house is not in your name, that type of stuff can happen. We're going to show that. We're going to talk about that too. At least, you go to key part, at least be knocking out that rent. Just as a man, it's always best for you to be knocking out that rent. This ain't some Western mindset or just like this. Now, this ain't going to be based off my personal opinion. This is going to be based off the way the Most High set it up when he set up the foundation of the man, woman, and child, right? So I'm going to go here real quick. I'm going to kick it straight off with one of the first books we ever learned about when we, when we babies in the word, when we just hear about the Bible from religious folks. You could start in a place that you would probably not even expect me to go. And it's Genesis chapter 1. Watch this. Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Look what this say. I want y'all to pay close attention to this. It's saying, God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something. If you notice, he said, and make him after our likeness. Now, at this time, you know, you're dealing with just Adam. We're just a man. You know what I'm saying? Eve, we all know Eve was a part of man or whatever. We know man species. We know all that. But if he talking directly to the man right here, it's something you need to pay attention to, because it say after our likeness. What is after God's likeness? If y'all ever notice, whenever you going through the creation story, he says things like, and after their kind. Why didn't God say after his kind? Because we not after his kind. Kind is where you get the word kindred from, or kinfolks. We're not genetically and biologically made like the Most High. Y'all see what I'm saying? We don't have the same genetic composition as the Elohim, the Most High God. He's a celestial being. We're terrestrial beings. So that's why it doesn't say we made him after our kind, because we're not after his kind. Biologically, we are not built like a spiritual being. Y'all feel me? But it does say after his likeness. So if we are after his likeness, that is some form of similitude. That means we got some type of ways of his behavior and things of that nature. So as a man, being that he talking to the man, right? And here in Genesis 1:26, being that he's talking to the man, and we'll see it. Let me read the next verse, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. So now it's letting you know both species, male, female, he created both of them. You know what I'm saying? So to some degree, male and female look like God, right? Now, when it says in his likeness, let's go back to 26. The reason I'm doing this. Now, if we're going to be like God, what's the first thing God did when he created a man? He already had a place for him to stay. Y'all get it? He had a place. God had a place for his creation before he even made it. So meaning, he had the Garden of Eden. Matter of fact, the whole planet Earth, he had a habitation for this man before he brought him into being. So where am I going with that? If we're going to bring a marriage into being, if we're going to bring a woman, child, all those things in, and you know, into a union with us, we should already have a foundation for them set. This as the man. This as the man, as the head, right? We should have that set. And like I said again, I know under certain circumstances, things just don't work out that way. I'm talking to those who have the capability to do it in that fashion. It's always best to follow the natural order of things, the way God set it up. Therefore, your chances of failure are highly low. It don't mean it's impossible, but it's highly low. So we see God set down a foundation for his creation, for he brought it into existence. So let's use that same mindset when we want to think about building a house, a family, getting your wife, kids, and all that type of thing. So further to back that up, let's check out what King Solomon said. Let's go to Proverbs, right? It's one verse, and it says a multitude of words. We're going to check out this one verse, right? It's Proverbs chapter 13. So let's check this out. Proverbs chapter 13. It's Proverbs 13 and verse 22. And this is what it say. It say, a good man leaveth an inheritance to his children, to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. I want to read that one more time, really paying attention to the top verse. It says, a good man leaveth the inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. So, if we know it's always, it said a good man, what you would consider a good man, always has the future of his offspring and his family in case something happened to him. He always got them in his mind. So inheritance is something that you always land up. And you know how that go. By the natural law of the Most High that's set up in the scriptures, the inheritance always went to the older male. You know, that's just how it went. It always went to the oldest male, the firstborn, things of that nature. But in case something happened, you get through whatever. The fact that you got kids, but they all got a blessing though. So y'all got to remember that too. The inheritance went to the oldest one, but even the siblings other than that got blessings. See, In order for you to do that, that takes planning, that takes building up things, that takes being a family man. Because it ain't about you no more once you start having kids and you get you a woman. So this is why it is almost impossible for you to do that. And I'm gonna tell you why. If you ain't even got your own place, bros. Y'all see what I'm saying? And one thing to get real, now, before I go where I'm gonna go, just to stay on point on what I was just saying about, like you said in Proverbs 13 and 22, a good man, lay up an inheritance for his children and children's children. That means his kids and his grandkids, right? Y'all know how everybody got them family members down south. They had, Big Mama and Pa in them house, and that house still around, even though they probably dead. That house is still there, and there's usually some land attached to it. Well, that's what our ancestors knew. That's what they were supposed to do. We didn't kind of fell away from that now. You know what I'm saying? We didn't kind of fell away from that. Now, to further prove that, I could have went a whole bunch of places with this, but I want to keep it simple. But I'm gonna show you, like, under one circumstance, just to show y'all, just in case you do come into a situation, say you fall in love with a sister, right, brothers? And it just so happened that you ain't really on nothing financially right now, but this sister really love you. You a good man, as good as we can be, because we all filthy rags, both male and female, and she wants to marry you. Now, I'm going to show you something that I thought of, because this is the rare case where the man may not always have the land in the house. So let's go to the law. She's in the Torah, the first 5 books. We're going to go to Numbers, right? So let's check something out real quick. Because I don't know, that was a real good post the sister had put up earlier. It just kind of had my mind like, I'm going to deal with that real quick, just talk to the bros. I mean, the sisters, y'all in on it. I want y'all to hear this too, because near the end, I got something that it's going to be real balanced. It's going to show both of us, right? So this Numbers chapter 27. And I've seen people, they'll cherry pick a verse out of here when they don't understand it. So I'm about to debunk something on the way of staying on topic. And this is, you probably have heard that when we was in our land, us being the real Israelites, the real Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, so-called Negro, right? When we were in our land, before slavery and all that, of course, we had our own government. We wasn't always under somebody else's government. We ran the government, right? And we had certain laws and ordinances and traditions and things that we kept. So you may hear people quote this and say, well, we couldn't even marry outside our tribe. That's not true. They got this from here, but I'm about to explain to you what it means, right? And why it says what it says. It's actually a decree written about the sisters, meaning the daughters of Israel, the women. This is not about the brothers, right? And it happened because they had to solidify something to keep the inheritances intact of the tribes in Israel, if y'all catch my drift. And I'm going to let the book explain. So basically, these sisters' father had died, and they didn't have no brothers, right? They didn't have no brothers to get an inheritance to. And so being that they didn't have no brothers to get an inheritance to, the elders had to step in and lay down the law. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the Most High influenced it. The elders had to step in and lay down the law so that the tribes would not cross inheritance, if y'all know what I mean. They wouldn't lose land and they go to another tribe, because God promised us so much land, each tribe. So if you was from a particular tribe, you didn't want your inheritance. Say I'm from the tribe of Judah, and I die, right? And I didn't have no boys, and so my inheritance gonna go to my daughters, right? Well, they're gonna get married. So whoever they get married to, so if I leave them part of the inheritance is my house and my land, what you think they gonna do when they marry a brother? He gonna get that, because he's gonna become the ruler of that house or whatever. Now, if he's from the tribe of Issachar, I'm just using the tribe for example, that would mean that the inheritance from Judah will actually go over to Issachar now. So now Judah is missing a part of his land and all that type of stuff, right? Y'all see what I'm saying? So they had to come up with a plan in case for when these situations happen, so it wouldn't be chaos, right? Now, see, under this circumstance, I'm just using this to a modern day thing. These women would have been coming with something because they got the inheritance of their tribe or their father or whatever, right? So this is Numbers chapter 27. I'm picking up at verse 1, and it says, "Then came the daughters of Zelophehad, the son of Hephar, the son of Gilead, the son of Mishar, the son of Manasseh, of the families of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, and these are the names of his daughters, Mahlah, Noah, and Haglah, and Milcah, and Tirzah. And they stood before Moses and before Eleazar." Hey, my brother is my brother still watching? Brother Tony, there you go. Eleazar, there go your namesake. Eleazar, the priest, and before the princes and all the congregation by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, now these the women, they coming and they pleading before the priest, Eleazar now, right? It says, "Our father died in the wilderness, and he was not in the company of them that gathered themselves together against the Lord in the company of Korah, but died in his own sin and had no sons." So she's telling them, not with them, they came against the Lord. The Lord had got down on Israel in the wilderness, whatever. Said, but he died in his own sins, and he did not have any sons. Now watch this. So now they in a dilemma, because we already know that the inheritance go to the sons. So who do the inheritance go to if you ain't got no sons? If all you got is daughters, right? Here you go. So they got to deal with this, right? So it says, verse 3, verse 4. "Why should the name of our father be done away from among his family, because he have no son? Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father." So you see what I'm saying? So the daughters are asking, they was like, man, so how my father name gonna die? And he ain't gonna have no legacy or nothing to leave just because we ain't got no brothers. You see what I'm saying? So they gonna solve all this, right? So it's done away from among the family because he have no son. Give unto us therefore a possession among the brethren of our father. So here you go. So now think about it. If the father didn't have nothing when he died, and then the sons was kaput, they don't got nothing now. So they ask him, well, give us something from his brethren. My dad had brothers, that's just the uncles, or brethren, meaning his tribe. Y'all get it now? So meaning his tribe, like some of y'all pitch in and give us some inheritance, man. Pops died, and it was bogus out there. He left us out here hanging, right? So watch this, verse 5. "And Moses brought their cause before the Lord, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, the daughters of I don't know how I keep messing his name up. Why you say it good? Zelophehad, I guess I say it like that, had speak right. Thou shalt surely give them a possession of an inheritance among their father's brethren, and thou shalt cause the inheritance of their father to pass unto them." So the Lord, he telling Moses, right? You know what I'm saying? He answering Moses like, yeah, you doing right. This how you do it. Get the possession, whatever her father had left, and get it from amongst the brothers of his tribe, his people, his kinsmen, and you give that to these daughters. Now we're going to lay out some guidelines so that they don't get bamboozled and the tribe don't get bamboozled. Watch this. "And thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, saying, if a man die and have no son, then ye shall cause his inheritance to pass unto his daughter." So, brothers, to get back to the point that we was talking about earlier, if in case, right, that you do run into that sister, she got everything together, she got her house, crib, whatever, y'all in love, y'all want to do this righteous, y'all don't want to just be, jumping in out of bed, stuff like that, but y'all want to become a real bona fide family, you know, in God's eyes, you know, it's easy to do that. And also in the law of the land, you know, so don't be no extra, you know, shenanigans going on. Can't nobody just run off and bounce on them. This is what you could take into account, that she might have her own stuff or whatever, right? So that's why I want y'all to kind of pay attention to this. But let me continue. I might as well read the next half. It say, and if he have no daughter, then ye shall give his inheritance unto the brethren. And if he have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his father's brethren. And if his father have no brethren, then ye shall give his inheritance unto his kinsman that is next to him of family, and he shall possess it, and it shall be unto the children of Israel a statute of judgment, as the Lord commanded Moses. So he made sure they covered everything. Like, we just can't find one and give it to, you know, damn. But when you read this whole chapter, it lets you know this is going to tell you also that it tells the women to marry within the tribe of their fathers, right? Because I want to take all day. Marry in the tribe of their, if y'all come back, read it for y'all own, read Numbers chapter 27. You can actually start at 26. And so therefore, the inheritance will not flip over to another tribe. So that is exactly what that was for. When a woman is getting the inheritance of her father and it ain't no brothers around, they was told to marry within their tribe. That's what that was for. So I don't want nobody running around saying, you know, you can't even marry outside the tribe, because, you know, Israel just get outrageous with it. But back to my point. So the reason I read this, because under these circumstances, these women would have had some property. They would have had houses, all that type of stuff. So you thought they weren't going to get married? Yeah, and it gave you a guideline on what to do, but they were supposed to marry within their tribe. So if you bring that to today's time, if, you know, a brother don't have it all and the sister got some stuff, okay, you know, can't nobody tell you ain't committing no sin. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do that, and just whatever you can do. If she don't own her own house and you going in there and she renting an apartment or renting a house, bro, come up with that rent, man. Because even when we go back to Genesis, it tell you when he put the conditions on Adam and Eve, what he tell Adam? He told Adam, by the sweat of his brow, where he had to earn his living and all that, paraphrasing. And this is why it is in a man to have to provide for his woman and his family, right? Y'all feel me? So this just ain't no way around it. So like I said, even if you just paying a portion of the rent, because that's where you at right now, you got to be knocking that rent out. You know what I'm saying? Ever since I was 17 years old, and people that know me, I stayed with my father for a long time. I was 17 years old. From the point I turned 17, I started paying rent. I've never lived rent-free. You know what I'm saying? I gave something whenever. Even when I was on my baddest time, I gave something. When people was telling me, you know, you don't got to get nothing, I gave something. Because just as a man, that don't even feel right. You know what I'm saying? And to be quite honest with you, brothers, I want y'all to hear me out on this. I was giving this advice, when I'm about to say to y'all right now, by some elders from the camp. And it was some of the wisest advice ever. And they told me, well, they actually wasn't even talking directly to me. It was actually a council. They was talking to the brothers. And they told these young brothers that wanted to get them a wife and all that, look, brothers, y'all need to hire y'all own stuff. Don't move in no woman's house. As brutal as that might sound to some of y'all brothers from the LG know what I'm talking about. The brothers was told, you get your own stuff. Because for one, she could take your power from you at any time. She could just tell you, get out of her house. Just get out. Now, I ain't saying that's the only reason you should do it for no power type thing. But it's just something to keep it real funky with y'all that you want to think about. Like me, if I, God forbid, I get to that situation or whatever, wife, whatever, you know, I'm just the type that I'll leave anyway. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm a man. I go somewhere else, you know, to stuff cool off, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I would like to have that option. I don't want you telling me, oh, yeah, why don't you just get out? No, why don't you get out? You know what I'm saying? Now, see, I wouldn't do that. Like I said, as I'm a man, I wouldn't do that anyway. You know what I'm saying? We men. Let the woman stay in there, whatever. You know, I hope you have fun in this big dark house by yourself while I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Don't be calling me when you hear something creaking under the sink. So that's my point, though. We was told, we was given that advice by the elders, man. Have your own stuff. Have your name. And look, I'm gonna tell y'all this. At least if you ain't got your name on it, at least be knocking out that rent, man. So at least she would think a good 6 or 7 times before she throw you out. Like, man, he is knocking out a chunk of that rent, though. You know what I'm saying? So this is just advice, brothers, like on some real stuff. So nobody get on here with their feelings, because y'all know this is the realest stuff ever wrote, like Tupac said. You know what I'm saying? 21 gun salute. And the sisters, I know y'all feeling me on this too, because that's just real. So if you could do it that way, why not do it that way? And, oh man, if I might not add, I might as well go here. I'm finna get real funky with y'all, because I got about 15, almost 20 minutes left. Because like I said, I'm trying to keep it at a certain time. I got a long night tonight. The next couple of nights, I'm trying to do something I'm gonna surprise y'all with, God willing. Everything is done in its proper time. Got something I'm gonna surprise y'all with within the next few days. Plus, now let me say this, y'all. This might ruffle some feathers, but another reason, bros, that y'all don't want to, if you can choose, you don't want to go in a relationship just putting all the responsibility on this woman, for one, and two, that you don't want to be in nobody else's house, is the curses. Because I don't know if y'all know or not, but that's kind of cursish in a sign of it. And I'm going to tell y'all what I mean by that. That's because that is a disruption of the order that the Lord got set up. So I'm going to bag up what I'm saying for y'all say Mikael is creating his own doctrine. Shalom, Jonathan. Let's look at this. Y'all tell me what this means. This is one of the conditions that's going to be put on Israel today, literally where we at right now, how you can identify who the true Jews and Israelites are. And this definitely don't fit that white Jewish dude over there. Because y'all know he run his house. And he run half the world because he got every bank on earth. But anyway, I ain't gonna get into all that. But this is just another one that he don't fit. So look at this. Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12. Listen to this. This is what God said about his people, the Israelite, the Negro, the African American, the Jamaican, and all that other type of stuff. Watch this. It say, as for my people, children are their oppressors. Y'all know we scatter our kids out there. Them cats that stand on the corner out there. Got the old ladies and old men crossing the street when they walk by because they scared of them. It say children are our oppressors. But watch this part. And women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths. Do y'all hear that? So one of the identifications of the Israelites you can know is, as a whole, their community is ruled by their woman in some shape, form, or fashion. And it says, and destroy the way of thy paths. That is destroying literally our community. Is that the woman's fault that she ruled over basically the household a lot of times in the community? No. I could show you other scriptures where it say the man gonna leave his own seed. So this is literally talking about, like, you can go with the single mother thing. I got a lot of scriptures for the single mama thing and absentee daddy. But this is really talking about what we was talking about. The woman rule over you. If you think I'm lying, get into it with your old lady and she gonna throw you out the crib. She gonna be like, this is my house. This in my name. That car in my name. And she can hit the 911 button and they ain't trying to hear nothing, homie. You got to get up out of there. Y'all hear that? So basically, at that moment, she became the head of the house. You got to get out, and that type of behavior is literally leading our community to destruction. This is what the book say. Mikael did not make this up. Y'all go back and read it for yourself. This is not the Brother Jeshurun version Bible. This is the King James. And it say that in every other version that I've tried to read. So that's another reason, brothers. Do you want to voluntarily be under a curse? No, you don't voluntarily want to be under a curse. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to rule your house. And when I say rule, that's not talking about slap, get in the kitchen, barefooted. I don't want to hear. Now, that ain't what that means, man. I can go all throughout the book and show you where it talk about rule. And you know what I'm saying? It actually just means run. That's all it means. That just means the final decision is yours. It don't got nothing to do with your woman can't talk. You know what I'm saying? Because she's supposed to be your helpmeet. How's she going to help you if she can't even say nothing? So that's what I'm just saying. Some Hebrews just be, you know, they be applying a flawed personality to the scriptures. But that ain't what stuff mean. And if you got any common sense, you know that ain't what it means. Because I don't even want to be with nobody that just ain't bringing nothing but a cute face. They just laying around looking cute all the time. They ain't doing nothing. That is not no good. I don't want that. Because I'm not on top of my game all the time. And who can better help you than your woman? Y'all got to keep it real, brothers. Let's keep it 100. She know more about you than anybody else. So wouldn't you want her to be the, I mean, if she can't help you, other than God, of course, if she can't help you, nobody can. I know how it is. You got a certain type of relationship with your homies, you know, your best friends, brother, and stuff like that. It's things that some of them might know that don't nobody know. But on a grand scale, don't nobody know you like your wife. Don't nobody know you like your wife. So she's definitely going to be a helpmeet. That's what she designed for. So, excuse me, y'all. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to have to edit that out if I put that on YouTube. But yeah. And so I just want to definitely add that part in there for anybody that try to go overboard with all the other stuff. So yeah, brothers, this is just my advice coming from a biblical standpoint, that it is just always best to have a foundation laid already before, you know, you take this woman on. And, you know, it ain't like it was back in the day. You know, a lot of times we ain't meeting no virgins and starting a family with them. They might already have a kid or 2 or 3 or whatever with them. And you definitely don't want to put them in a position where you don't even have a solid foundation. You know what I'm saying? That's just not a good feeling. It's just not a good thing. I just know it would not be good, you know, and that's put more pressure on her and on both of y'all. You know, so just try to have your stuff together, brother. Like I said, if the place ain't in your name, and, you know, it might be better for credit reasons or whatever, that she got it in her name, pay that rent, bro. Pay that rent. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you got to do, pay that rent. Laying around playing PlayStation all day and all that type of stuff that ain't cool, man. It's just not a good look. And then you want to get on Facebook and kick all this knowledge, like super biblical knowledge, but you ain't really got no part in your house staying together at home. You just there, just lingering around like a parasite. She coming in there, they looking at you like, damn, you still here? You know what I'm saying? You don't want to do that, man, because that's going to start some strife. So let me go to another spot. Like I said, I only got a few spots, and I would love to see y'all comments and things of that nature, because y'all know me, I keep it funky. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can talk to me. You know what I'm saying? I will respond. Let's check something out right here and see if the Bible don't agree with what I just said. Let's go to the New Testament, right? And let's see what this say. I want y'all to turn to 1 Timothy. 1 Timothy, and let's see what this say. A lot of y'all might be familiar with this, but it's basically going to say what I just said, but it's going to say it a lot better. So let's go to 1 Timothy chapter 5, and this is what it says. 1 Timothy chapter 5. It says, 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 8. It says, but if any provide not for his own, especially for those of his own house, he have denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. Ooh, y'all heard that? So if you ain't providing nothing for your own house, but you out there trying to kick book, you know, which ain't, of course, ain't nothing wrong with kicking book. If you know it, then you should teach it to other people. But if you out here trying to lead people spiritually, right? You out here trying to lead people spiritually, but you not even providing for your own house, man, they say it's worse than an infidel. Y'all know an infidel is somebody that's just foul, that just go against the church, go against the teachings of God. You are worse than that. That is a bad thing. That is not something that you want on you. So if providing is you got a place to stay for whatever reason, you know, you've been blessed with a place to stay, shelter over your head or whatever, that is providing. You know what I'm saying? You come up with consistent money to help bills, utilities, things of that type of thing, you are providing. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to keep in mind, because you definitely don't want to be worse than an infidel. That means all that teaching and stuff you're doing is like for naught, like real talk. And let me touch on this point. I'm almost through. Like I said, I only got 2 spots I'm going to. 2 more spots left. And I want to say this too. Being that we are not in conventional times, and sometimes the woman make more than the man. This goes back to Sister Margot's post. And sometimes, you know, the sister might be the one that got more of the foundation set. So I'm finna show that side of the coin too, y'all. So y'all don't think I'm getting down on the brothers. Like I say, I've been not really in that situation, but I think where it could have went that way. You know, thank the Lord, it just didn't. I'm in a better place right now, and only sky's the limit. You know what I'm saying? But you know, I just want to give this point of view too, that in case, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna go somewhere else. I got something else I want to throw out there. Let's go to Proverbs. We're gonna go back to Proverbs. Y'all know how everybody, you know, we love to read Proverbs 31 about the virtuous woman, right? But they rarely read this part. I want to show y'all something too, in case this for the sisters right here, y'all. So if the sisters, if y'all with me, I want y'all to pay attention to what we're about to read. So this is for the sisters that's probably like, well, you know, such and such said I'm supposed to, you know, I'm supposed to be in the house. I ain't supposed to be working outside the home. And, you know, if you thinking that makes you any less of a wife because of the circumstances that you educated, you got a career, you got a business, or you out there just working a job to get a 9 to 5. No, man, this is not conventional times. Things happen. Do what you got to do. And like they say, a lot of people, you know, they say 2 incomes is better than 1. And I know that for a fact. 2 incomes is definitely better than 1. So that's don't fall off into that. But what I will say, for the sisters who choose to be housewives and go back to the more traditional biblical way that you want to be a housewife and all that, granted that your husband is making enough money for you to be a housewife. Let's get that clear. You know what I'm saying? See, this thing go hand in hand. But if you choose to do that, let me show you something. This is why I always teach my daughters. I will advise every brother and every sister to always teach their daughters to have something to fall back on. Go to school, get an education, learn how to take care of yourself in case a man ain't always there. These girls gonna have to be, these girls is gonna be women, and they gonna have to know how to take care of themselves, whether it's get them a business or whatever. And I'm gonna show you something about the virtuous woman that they never read. So let's go to Proverbs chapter 31, and I'm gonna pick it up in another spot. I'm gonna pick it up in verse 12, right? Matter of fact, I'll start from 10. It said, who could find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies, right? The heart of her husband doeth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. See, when you got you a good wife, you trust in her, ain't no way you could be spoiled. See, spoiled in the Bible means rotten. It means bad. You know, I don't know how we start trying to make it sound cute, like, oh, I'm so spoiled. No, that's God don't like spoiled. That means you ain't no good. You stink. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. It says, verse 12, It says she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. That's key. That's what a real virtuous woman is. She gonna do you good all your life. She ain't plotting on doing nothing evil. She ain't trying to see you get hurt. She don't want to hurt you. She ain't putting your business out there and all that type of stuff. She everything you can trust in her. Y'all remember that song, I won't tell your secrets. You got to have a woman like that. That's the sign of a virtuous woman, right? Not somebody that's going to get mad and then go on Facebook and blast all your business out, call in the local radio station, put all your business out on there. You know what I'm saying? Get on a Fire Stick, put all your business on there, get on Comcast. Now I'm getting ridiculous now, but y'all know what I'm saying. Okay, so let me keep reading, right? Verse 13, it say, she seeketh wool. I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is just to let y'all know you can be a businesswoman. This is finna tell you about having a wife that's a businesswoman. Listen, y'all. It says she seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. Y'all think she do this for free? No, it's about to tell you. Watch this. It says, she is like the merchant ships. She bringeth her food from afar. So this woman got a deal in trade or whatever she got to, or just on the literal side, she would do what she got to go out and go get that food, bring that bread. Because if you a bread-winning man, hey, Jared, should be cool. If you a bread-winning man, you might be on the road a lot. You know what I'm saying? Whatever your job requires, you're not always going to be at home. That's why you got to have a wife that you can trust that's going to hold the crib down. You know what I'm saying? Now, during this time, she got her business. Y'all hear this? She got her business. Now, just peep this, right? Verse 15. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands, she planted the vineyard. So this is the type of woman that could peep some property. Because think about it. You out there making the money, whatever. Y'all got a little bank account, whatever. She could peep some property, be like, oh, yeah, you know, that's some nice land right there. And it says she buy it. So y'all know how it go. A lot of times, you know what I'm saying? I know I don't be feeling like dealing with money and all that type of stuff. I got a woman I trust. If you don't trust her, you definitely shouldn't be with her, marry her. So yeah, I'll be like, yeah, man, you take care of that or whatever. You know, I'm gonna go back and check. But still, I'm like, you go ahead, because women get a little outrageous, be buying all other type of stuff. But this lets you know you put trust in your woman to run her business. Look at that. She buying property and stuff, planting vineyards. Y'all see this type of stuff right here though? So that's just had to throw that in there for people who think that if a housewife is sitting at home, she can't make no other source of income. That is not the case. I don't think it ever really just been like that. But I'm going to keep reading anyway. It says, she girdeth her loins with strength and strengthened her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good. Her candle goeth not out by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. So this lets you know you got a woman that's constantly on her P's and Q's, and all this means she's able to take care of business whenever it come her way. You trust in her. See, that's the type of woman you want. You like, oh man, I ain't worried about my woman. You know what I'm saying? She gonna take care of that. You see what I'm saying? So yes, you always had women that worked in business and all that type of stuff. So I just had to throw that in there. You know what I'm saying? For some brothers that get a little cavemanish around these days. So I'm gonna go to this last part just to kind of ice off the point that I'm trying to get across, especially for our brothers that's out there, man. You kicking that word, everything looking good. But then when you hear about, unfortunately, the household, it ain't doing too good. It's like, the brother know all that wisdom in the book, but as far as letting that thing come forth in his own household, it ain't going on that way. And I'm going to show you that is not a good thing in nobody's book, especially not in this book, if you want to keep it more funky. So I'm going to go to 1 Timothy chapter 3. I'm going to go to 1 Timothy chapter 3, and I want y'all to pick this up with me. 1 Timothy chapter 3, and I'm going to pick it up at verse 1, right? It say, This know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. Oh, wrong one. I'm in 2 Timothy. My bad, y'all. I jumped out my body. 1 Timothy. Here we go. All right. This is a true saying. If a man desire the office of a bishop, he desireth a good work. So yeah, man, you want to be a teacher, you want to deal in the ministry and all those type of things. It is a very good work. This is not a rumor, it is. But let's keep going. It says, verse 2, a bishop then must be blameless, the husband of one wife, vigilant, sober, of good behavior, given to hospitality, and apt to teach. So the Most High is basically letting us know that if you're going to be somebody that's looked up high in the church, you know, a spiritual man, you want to be blameless as possible, meaning you don't want no rumors out here, misconceptions that, look, that brother got about 4 wives and he don't even take care of them. Because now you got to go back to the law where the role of the first one can't be diminished and stuff like that. So if you got that going on, you know that business is going to get out there. Then it say be sober, right? So let me rewind back to that finish, you know, so y'all don't think that I just left something out. Not only that, it tell you about law of the land. So we know in most places it's monogamy, right? You're going to go to jail for bigamy if you got about 3-4 wives running around here, and you definitely trying to hire 3-4 legal wives. So that's one thing you just don't want to be coming up. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said again, you got to take care of all of them right. You know what I'm saying? So you don't want that blemish on your mark. That's check one. Then it wants you to be sober. And you know, it's like 3 different things, that groups that come up and sober. Literally sober, meaning you can't be no drunk. You can't be busted all the time. Because if you busted all the time, then you definitely can't understand the spiritual things. So it won't stop you from being spiritually drunk, which we know is you easy to influence with bad doctrine. That's what that would mean. So he want a sober type man that's not out here, you know, in substance induced all the time. A man that got 1 wife, so you got to worry about all that other stuff, extra families and all that. Because plus, how you gonna handle the real work of the ministry in the church? And you got 3-4 families to take care of. So y'all got to keep it real with this too. It's a literal stuff to this, right? And it also says sober, 1 wife, vigilant, can't get around that, of good behavior. You don't want your pastor always in some folly. Like, man, Joe, you heard pastor such and such was in a bar fight, man, down on Wabash. You know, that'd be crazy. Like, what? He in a bar fight? Yeah, man, he got into a bar fight. But look at this. It say, given to hospitality and apt to teach. So you want somebody that know how to treat people well when they come around, you know, have good hospitality, and they have to be apt to teach. You know, somebody come in a situation, they got to be ready to start teaching in any time, because that is your 24/7 job. You know what I'm saying? It's a big responsibility to take. But if you go take it, it's telling you all the type of attributes that you should have. Now, let me skip on down, since we talking about the man of God, and let's look at your counterpart, your woman. So y'all brothers don't think that I just was getting down on y'all. You know, and like I said, it was just advice. And this is strictly out of love so that it would be better for you and your household. But let's get down to verse 11 and see what's one of the main attributes a man of God, a teacher. It calls him a bishop in this place. A man of God, y'all, should have. Verse 11. Sisters, I want y'all to hear this clear too. It says, even so must their wives be grave, not slanderers, sober, faithful in all things. Y'all hear that? It says, so the wife that you pick, if you a teacher and all that, you got to have a sober wife. Not no female that's around here busted all the time. You know what I'm saying? Busted up, high, whatever, just off her square all the time. And of course, spiritually sober. It says, and slanderers, you know God can't stand. You got a woman while you out there doing work, she out here gossiping, slandering people's name, you know, just doing the old chicken head hen house stuff. Always got something to say. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know that. No, you can't hire one of them type of wives if you're going to be a good teacher. So basically what this telling you is sober, faithful in all things, and you want a woman who got strong faith. You know, strong faith, not like Job's wife was, who when the poop hit the fan, she was like, you know, curse, you ain't gonna curse God. You know, he told me he's like a foolish woman. You supposed to have a woman that's gonna be like, oh baby, I know it's messed up, but you know God is gonna get us through this. He brought us together, so he gonna get us through everything. You just keep serving him, and I'm gonna keep being there for you, my Lord. Y'all hear what I'm saying? This is how cold that's supposed to be, though. So the choice in your woman as a man of God is vital. It's vital. You know what I'm saying? So sisters, I hear y'all too. Okay, I got you, Sister Teresa. Love you. I got you. I'm gonna leave it up there. Like I said, I might load it on the my YouTube channel. So sisters, I heard y'all heard that in 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 11. And brothers, that's to the brothers, but the sisters can't duck it. So if you want to be a sister of a brother that you consider to be a man of God, you know what I'm saying? You definitely don't want to fall under them categories. And, you know, we can get into Titus 2 and 3 and all that type of stuff. But you want to be a holy type woman that he can trust in. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to be there for him, not nagging him to death and all that type of stuff. And brothers, if you're going to be ready to, you know, to go on ahead and become a family man, try to have that foundation down first, man. You know what I'm saying? A solid foundation. And pick your woman wisely. Get you a woman that your spirit click with, that you see what it said, a faithful woman. A woman that you know she not reading the Bible just because you around. You know what I'm saying? She not, you know, playing the whole role and all that just because of you. You want a woman that she in that book even when y'all not in class. You feel me? She gets in that book on her own. You ain't got to tell her to get in the book. Because in the end of the day, if it goes south with you, look, this the thing. I'm going to end with this. When it goes south for the sisters, they supposed to hire they man to lean on. If you not capable of feeling that, they just going to bypass you and lean on God. Because God is there anyway. Because and ultimately, we all got to lean on God. So, being that God is also the head of man, don't you want a woman there when time get rough, even spiritually? You can lean on that woman because you know her faith ain't going nowhere. All she going to do is strengthen your faith. Because it ain't nothing worse to be out there in that world fighting them demons than to have to come home and fight another demon. Y'all feel me? And so with that, I say, man, love y'all. Shalom, shalom, grace and peace. And we got to get it together, brothers and sisters. All right. Peace.